Hey YouTubers, so buckle up guys, rough ramble. So what is this ramble about? What the hell is this ramble about? Essentially this ramble, or more of a rant actually, it's more of a rant than a ramble, is essentially how the FDA, or was it the FDA? Yeah, it was the FDA, basically announced today that they will be taking JUUL, J-U-U-L, JUUL, off the market. So JUUL e-cigarettes, and as well as other e-cigarettes, completely off the market. Not regulating them. They're not going to be like raising the minimum age. They're not going to be banning flavorings. We're talking about a complete ban. As far as I understand it, that's the way I understand it. And please, please, please correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the way I understand it, is a complete ban. Essentially, after 2 years, since 2020, they've now made this decision to essentially take JUUL products, J-U-U-L, the e-cigarette, the fucking e-cigarette, off the market. So, what do I feel about this? Now, obviously, everyone's entitled to their opinion because, like they say, opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one. Everyone has an asshole. Everyone has an opinion. And my opinion is, I'm totally against this. 100% against this. No way, shape, or form do I support this in any way. Now, you might say, smoking essie, you're a smoker, you're not a vapor, why would you be against it, aren't you for, like, protecting the children? Aren't you for, like, protecting, the welfare of our children? Well, yes, and I am a smoker, and I have tried vaping a couple times, once in 2013, once in 2014, once in 2015, but I haven't vaped since 2015, so 7 years. Almost 70 years. So, yeah, July of 2015 is the last time I vaped. So, and I'm not somebody who uses vape by any means. I get comments all the time, people saying, oh, you should switch to vape, it's so much better, it's so much damn better, it's like, you can vape everywhere. Well, first off, it's like, I have no interest in vaping. Second off, where I live, the town that I live in, I'm not going to say where I live in, but it's in Massachusetts, for example, or it is in Massachusetts. Where I live in my town, through my Board of Health, any place that smoking is prohibited, vaping is prohibited. And actually that's a Massachusetts law, not just a where I live. So in my state, you cannot vape anywhere you can't smoke. So if you can't smoke in the place, you can't vape in the place. I know some states that's not the case. I know some states treat vapor different than a smoke. A lit tobacco product, like a cigarette, a cigar, a pipe, a hookah, they treat it differently because it's not burning. But where I live, it's treated the exact fucking same way. There's no difference. If you can't vape in a restaurant, or you can't smoke in a restaurant, you can't vape, and vice versa. So there's no incentive because essentially you can't vape really anywhere aside from outdoors. So that's the gist of it. So, and I have no interest in vaping. It doesn't appeal to me. And obviously in Massachusetts also, we have a statewide flavored tobacco ban, aside from smoking bars. So you can't even, the only flavor you can vape is pure tobacco. And essentially, yeah, there's really no benefit. You can't I couldn't vape in my apartment, obviously. My apartment is a violation of my lease. And I obviously couldn't vape anything but pure tobacco flavorings. It's like, so there's no incentive for me to switch, to vapor. And I know people are going to be, all kinds of, health education, whatevers, jackasses, and say like, oh, do you realize when you burn that tobacco, you're creating cyanide, you're creating carbon monoxide, do you realize the vapor is just water vapor? Well, it's like, I'm not going to be getting into a big debate or big argument about that kind of crap. It's like, in my mind, I've made peace with my decision to smoke. It's like, and people can totally educate me about, vapor or like chewing tobacco, where, for example, the difference is so dramatic, in terms of the health effects. I've made my peace with tobacco. It's like, with cigars and pipes. But back to the whole ban on JUUL, which is it basically looks like a floppy drive or a disk drive, and basically, not a dick drive, but a disk drive, and basically it's become extremely popular among younger people, and that's the idea behind the ban. Is essentially it's become extremely popular among teenagers, especially underage kids in middle schools and high schools, and it's become so damn popular, for a better word, so fucking popular. I mean, so damn popular, and essentially it's such a huge problem in schools. I mean, my mother is a teacher, and she talks about it all the time. So I can't mention obviously any confidentiality, but you get the crap. It's like so it's a huge problem in schools. Essentially, kids will go into bathrooms and vape. It's like because it's easy to hide, it's easy to conceal. It looks like a floppy drive, or not a floppy drive, like a USB drive. Sorry, a USB drive. That's the word I was looking for. Was a USB drive. So. Essentially, it's a huge, basically an epidemic with kids. And I get comments all the time on my channel from people on my videos like Nicotine Sickness, What to Do, which was a video I did back in 2014. I get tons of comments from people who are vapors, who are talking about how they get sick all the time, they throw up. I mean, dude, when I was sick from those that hot sauce, both yesterday and on this past weekend, I felt like shit. It's like, I mean, I wouldn't want to, vape something and throw up. It's like if I threw up every time I smoked, I quit. It's like, I mean, hell yes, I would quit, because there's no point. It's not even fun anymore if every time I smoked, I threw up. But yeah, if you wake up and you cough a little bit, that's a little bit different, because that's manageable. You might cough the first hour when you wake up, but that's kind of to be expected. I mean, every smoker gets some degree of COPD. It's like, but if every time you lit up a cigarette or a cigar or a pipe, you were just throwing up, it's like, yeah, not very enjoyable. I mean, people talking about how they get sick as a fucking dog, it's like, and like throw up. Yeah, that's not even enjoyable. So back to my point, you might say, well, why are you so against this ban? It's because it's too authoritarian. And that's my opinion, my personal opinion, like my asshole, is it's too authoritarian. It's basically telling, and I'm saying for kids, absolutely 100%, 150%, you should not be able to buy JUUL or any tobacco product or any product with nicotine until you're 21 years old, or at least 18 years old in my opinion. I think 18 years old is fine in my opinion. It's 21 now, but I think 18 years old is okay in my opinion. So yeah, it's like, absolutely nobody under the age of 21 should be vaping, period. And they should have stiff fines, super harsh fines for anybody who sells or gives the product to anybody under 21, period. If you get caught, giving vape pens or e-cigarettes to somebody under 21, you should definitely go to jail. It's like, if a store gets caught, they should definitely be fined. If it becomes a problem, they should definitely lose their license. It's like, however, I'm not excuse me, I'm not in favor of completely banning it, because then you step into the realm of, okay, kids can't do it, which is fine, but then you step into the realm of adults can't do it. Okay, if an adult can, I'm going to be a little bit careful here because I want to monetize this video. If an adult can drink 20 beers in the privacy of their own home and pass out drunk and destroy their liver and basically die of cirrhosis when they're 21 years old, if an adult can eat 25 cheeseburgers and choke to death of their own accord, then why can't an adult buy an e-cigarette? It makes no sense to me. If an adult can go to war in the Middle East and get their legs blown off and essentially die for our country when they're 18 years old, then why can't they buy JUUL or e-cigarettes? It makes no sense to me. If an adult can be sentenced to death at 18 years old, be put on death row, and be executed in the electric chair, or be executed by lethal injection, then why can't they buy the product? It makes no sense. I mean, I personally think the age should be 18 for all tobacco products. It was 18 for a long time, so it makes no fucking sense to me. I mean, it's crossing into a very slippery slope, a very, very slippery slope of authoritarianism. That's, in my opinion, my personal opinion, like my asshole. It's like, okay, what's next? You're gonna say no, like marijuana vape. It's like marijuana is legal in Massachusetts. It's like, cannabis is legal in Massachusetts. So you're going to say no more flavored marijuana, flavored marijuana e-vapes, or like, for example, we're gonna have stoning bans, not smoking bans. Get it? Stoning bans, because you're a stoner if you smoke marijuana. It's like, yeah, it's a slippery slope. It's like, what's next? You're gonna say, oh, you can't have 3 Dr. Peppers at fucking McDonald's because it causes diabetes, causes heart disease, causes all kinds of health problems. It's a slippery slope. It's like, I don't get that. It's like, I think if you have a right as a 21-year-old adult to drink alcohol, and I'm not glorifying by any means or encouraging any means for you to do this crap, but yeah, if you have a right as an adult to drink 20 beers a day at 21 years old, assuming you don't drive drunk, and assuming you stay in the privacy of your own home, you're not drunk in public, and you have a right to drink 20 beers and develop cirrhosis over a very short period of time, and then basically die a painful, miserable death at 21 years old from cirrhosis of the liver, yeah, it makes no sense. It's like, and I'm not saying it's healthy to vape. I'm not saying it's healthy for you to use any kind of tobacco products. I mean, believe me, I have health problems because I use tobacco products. I'm a cigar and pipe smoker daily, and I wake up and I cough in the morning. I hack in the morning. I have phlegm first thing in the morning. But it's a very slippery slope. I mean, what's next? Fast food, drinking, cannabis, coffee. It's a very, very slippery slope. I mean, I'm going to kind of step off my soapbox here, but I mean, I do not agree with that. I think it's way too authoritarian, and I think it's way too, I don't like to use the word nanny state, but, way too nanny state, and way too, like, in your face. It's like, and yeah, I can understand if it was like, okay, electronic, cigarettes that contain heroin or contain meth or contain, PCP, but electronic cigarettes that contain nicotine, I mean, then just ban tobacco altogether. I mean, just ban it altogether. It's like, I mean, just if you're going to ban e-cigarettes, then why don't you just ban regular cigarettes? I mean, they're already trying to ban menthol cigarettes. I mean, what's next? It's like, yeah, I just don't agree with that crap. And I mean, I know people are going to say, oh, you're probably sponsored by the tobacco industry, the big tobacco industry, to say that you're probably, you're not defending our kids. And to be fair, I'm not a parent. It's like, I'd probably feel totally different if I was a parent. If I was a parent and I had, 2 little kids who were, 10 or 11 years old, I'd probably feel totally different because I'm not a parent. It's like, I don't have to worry about my kid going to school and being given an e-cigarette. It's like, I've chosen never to have kids. It's like, I'm 31 years old. I've chosen never to have kids. I might not even get married. It's like, I might not even ever have a girlfriend. It's like, so I don't have to worry about that shit. It's like, as in bullshit is bullshit, because, yeah, I don't have kids. I've never had kids in my life. I don't have, a little precious daughter or son who I would be terrified would get their hands on that crap. It's like, so yeah, I'm kind of biased because I'm not a parent, and most people who are supporting this are parents. It's like, the vast majority of people who are supporting us have kids or are teachers or are, people who work with kids. It's like, and I mean, I don't have kids myself, so yeah, I'm kind of fucking biased myself. But yeah, I don't get that. I mean, I think it's a slippery slope, and I think it's just opening a whole fucking can of worms. Anyway, pretty fucking cool. Bye.